that blazer is still on the back of Chris's chair. So Chris.
What's up?
We need to have a discussion.
We need to have a discussion? What's up?
What that chair do?
Has that blazer been on your chair since the holiday special?
Maybe.
Chris just did the closest to doubling over in laughter I've ever seen him do.
Maybe.
We have multiple times noted, like, we've been keeping track since December if that is there or not there. We have been watching and it is still there.
I just love that we have to have a discussion and Chris is like, oh god, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, we do actually have to have a discussion. Ben,
no, we
when
don't.
you and I were sitting here waiting for Chris, what were you doing?
Eating my dinner.
And
drinking a vanilla Coke, not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Ben and I were sitting here, just us. And Ben seemed a little distracted. I said, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "No, I'm watching something." I'm like, "Oh, what are you watching?" Because at first I was like, "Why are you watching something when we're about to record?" I'm like, "What are you watching?" He's like, "You're gonna be mad at me." And he said, "Clone Wars." And honestly, I wasn't mad as much as I was dumbfounded.
I was surprised at the level of surprise Jay had.
Well, Jay, I have some news. I just went back and started rewatching Rebels. So
why are you like? How do you do this to yourselves? How are you capable of this?
After a while, you're just like, I could go through it again. Like, why not?
Yeah, it's good. What do you mean? Same reason I've rewatched The Office about 1,000 times, and
yeah, but you don't watch The Office every week forever.
I don't watch Clone Wars every week forever.
I think I do though. I watch The Office probably almost every day. It's just on in the background. I'll be doing something else, and I just have The Office playing in the background because I have like ADHD and I need multiple things playing at any given time so I can focus.
Your kid's gonna have hellacious nostalgia for The Office. It's going to be quite interesting.
It's going to be one of the many reasons I'm going to get letters home.
Hello and welcome to Star Wars Every Week Forever, the podcast in which we watch one Star Wars movie every week forever. This week, The Empire Strikes Back, and continuing at the midpoint of what we've been doing this rotation, we are watching them live and giving audio commentary. So we haven't watched them yet, and we're about to.
And you're about to with us, maybe.
Maybe.
Only if you're
This
cool.
is not the rotation. I will say it again, because I've been trying to say at the beginning of these episodes, this is not the rotation necessarily to just listen to this as a podcast.
No, it is not.
I can't imagine this is an enjoyable listen if you're just hanging out at home, because there's gaps and silences, and then very specific references to the things that we're watching sometimes.
We have warned everybody, but
or other times you can't even tell that we're watching something. We're just talking about something completely unrelated.
But hey, when we put out the news this week, you all seemed very excited. So I'm excited, you're excited, we're excited. Whether you're watching this when it comes out or 6 months down the line when you finally rewatch Star Wars, we're very excited to have you with us. But yeah, don't listen to this like a podcast. Just watch it when you feel like watching Star Wars.
Or, maybe if you have a road trip and you have a long car ride and you need 1.5 to 2.5 hour long episodes of something to listen to.
Of us for some godforsaken reason.
If you've ever wanted the experience of going on a long car ride with the three of us, there's... Because it wouldn't be much different than this anyway.
All right, I'm going to count down for the audience and us. We go on 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, who's not tired of this bit yet?
Started at like 3 separate yet close times.
Da-da-da-da.
Oh God, never gets old.
I'm
Sure to anybody.
I'm very interested in watching this watch with y'all because this is the movie we've changed the most.
It's the one.
It's the one.
It's the one. It's gonna happen. It's our favorite moment. The best scene in Star Wars.
The best scene that's kind of in Star Wars.
We all know what the best scene in Star Wars is, alright?
Oh,
Nope.
shut up. We're past it.
I know, I'm sad.
Don't you? I'm sad, me. You're gonna watch it again
Let me
in
mourn
5 weeks.
Let me mourn my goddamn pod race.
No! You will never be allowed to mourn. As long as I live, you will never be allowed to mourn the thing that you watch every 9 weeks, Ben.
And she means for as long as she's alive, because that's at least as long as this podcast goes on, as we've discovered.
Well, I said episode 5 when we all bring up our impending mortality. It's always episode 5.
This is what happened last episode 5 too.
Yes,
That
we got
episode
some
where
feedback
we
from
got
our
real
fans
dark.
that it got very dark.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
That's the one where we talked about what happens when you guys abandon me here.
Oh, I didn't see
Yes,
that feedback. That's hilarious.
I apologize for abandoning you through the natural conclusion to my life, Ben.
How dare you?
You're right, Ben. It's 100%. It's a targeted aggression towards you.
If you can find a necromancer, you can circumvent this.
I'm
But no, they
gonna be a
cannot cure your
necromancer.
depression.
Costs,
That's one of my favorite Tumblr
you-
posts, by the way.
You need diamonds worth, what is it, 500 gold pieces?
Oh God, that's one of my favorite Tumblr posts, by the way. The fact that if you Google when you Google can a necromancer, the autocomplete will come up. Can a necromancer cure my depression? Which is very good.
It's asking the important questions.
I fucking love the probe droids.
Yeah, they're neat.
I will say that. That's one of like my favorite designs that came out of these movies.
Tauntauns are cool too.
Fucking claymation
The
tauntauns.
Tauntauns
It's great.
look pretty good still in 2022.
Oh yeah. I
I mean, they're not door claymation, so
That
you
fucking
can tell
door.
that it's like a stop motion, but like it still looks so solid.
now before this takes off, do we want to take a second? Because breaking news 6 weeks in the past, we got the Obi-Wan trailer this week.
We did get
Yeah,
an
we
Obi-Wan
did.
trailer this week.
I will admit, it got me. Like, I was interested in this thing.
Jay's
that they put
excited
out.
for a Star Wars thing. You heard
I
it
mean,
here first.
excited is very strong. Here's the one problem with Star Wars.
Jay is
got-
mildly hyped.
Yes, mildly hyped is the right
Mildly
word.
hyped.
Here's the problem with Star Wars. The one thing that always gets me, and they know this.
They know. There's a
Kathleen
file
Kennedy
that just says
knows
Jay.
this. No, it's what gets everybody is they know how to use the Star Wars OSTs to get people's nostalgic reactions. They know how to do it. The Force
Yeah.
Awakens trailer proved that. So when Duel of the Fates hit, I was like, oh fuck, and the way it kind of interweaved with Battle of Heroes and that shit, that got me. I don't know if I like the direction of it, but I like Ewan McGregor, so that was dope. And they brought back the mullet. I'm not a fan of the mullet being back, but I'm also a fan of the mullet being back.
No, I'm here for the mullet.
I'm fine with the mullet.
If we'll take 1 second to stop talking about Obi-Wan to point out the fact that we just saw Chewbacca curse out Han, which is one of
It's
my
my
favorite
favorite.
scenes in the movie.
It's one of my favorite behind the scenes clips, honestly.
Yeah. Which he did on set, just curse him the hell out.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So yeah, I'll let you
My,
two talk about it.
You know,
It's
I'm
almost my
excited.
favorite moment of the radio drama. Hold on.
Oh,
I can't put it in the episode, but it was the what's the line? I don't know. It's not here. It's later on. I know. I joined the rebellion because I
join the
noticed
rebellion
things.
because I noticed things. But yeah, I'm excited for Obi-Wan.
I'm sad.
The
Looks great.
the Grand Inquisitor and the I forget what the other Inquisitor's name is. They look a little off, but like I kind of expect that from live
Do
action.
we know anything about this female Inquisitor that's in this? That was in that trailer
She
quite
has
a
a
bit.
name. Like I don't know if she was in other shows, but she has a name, and people were excited for her, and that's all I know.
I don't remember her from anything else.
Starts with an
from
R.
Fallen Order.
Might
Is she
be.
the one from Fallen Order? Because I've never finished Fallen Order.
It's either her or the seventh sister, also from Rebels. But I also didn't get a good look at her, so I don't know.
Riss, I think maybe her name is something like that. I like that Obi-Wan just randomly summons a bird out of his ass at one point. It's pretty great. And I like that this show confirmed that Obi-Wan just wants to die. Like, the entire vibe of the show is just Obi-Wan literally wants to die. Most of our headcanons were confirmed in that trailer, which is nice. It's not Cheers, but it's fine.
It's not Cheers, but it's fine.
I mean, look, it's not. This show won't be good for me unless the Inquisitors use their lightsabers like a helicopter at some point. It needs to happen in live action.
Well, we did see that they are going to have the spinny lightsabers, so we'll see if they actually, like...
Wait a minute, do they actually work like helicopters sometimes?
Yeah. Yeah, that is
Alright,
a thing.
you turned me around on these lightsabers.
Fresh
I hated them
cannon.
until this moment. Now I love them.
Depressingly fresh cannon.
Depressively fresh cannon! I don't know, man. I'll watch it. I'll watch it for Ewan.
Very excited for it. Hold on, I'll be right back. I have to take chicken out of the freezer.
Who was that guy?
That was Chris.
Okay,
Yes.
Ben.
Our...
This is the wrong time to take this bit that we do in real life and turn it in as we introduce it for the first time on the podcast to no sell it. So all of this is new. You never saw the Wampa in the original cut.
Really?
Nope. Because the Wampa looked like shit, and they took out the original 7-foot actor that they used for him. Which sucks because that actor fell and hurt himself very badly in the snow. But no, this Wampa was done much later.
Okay.
Which is why there's so many shots where they avoid seeing the Wampa.
The Wampa. I love the Wampa.
I was just commenting that this is the all of the images of the Wampa were added later.
Oh, interesting.
Because I talked about the 7-foot guy that they had playing the Wampa originally. He got cut because they didn't like the way it looked, and that's why there's so many shots where it's just really cleverly avoided seeing the Wampa because they took it out. I also feel bad for the original actor because he fell in the snow and really hurt himself, and then ended up getting cut from the movie.
Was this before or after the crew sent Mark Hamill out into a blizzard to wander?
Same day.
Of course it was. There didn't seem to be a lot of sense going on that day.
There didn't seem to be a lot of sense going on the set of Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Forgot to start recording.
Whatsoever. You just have people out in the desert dehydrated, fucking almost dying.
Yeah.
We just send poor Mark Hamill out into a snowdrift completely alone.
Oh my god.
George Lucas may or may not have tried to give Mark Hamill CTE. I mean,
That wasn't George Lucas, by the way. That was
that wasn't George Lucas, actually. That's right. It was, what's his face, the other director.
the co-director that might as well have been the director for this movie. Because George had very little to do with the directing of this movie, because he was at home trying to figure out how AT-ATs work. No, seriously, like, most of what George Lucas did for Empire Strikes Back was trying to get special effects to work.
Wasn't the whole Wampa thing to explain away my Mark's face is kind of like screwed up after the, what was it, motorcycle accident, I believe? Am I correct in that, or am I wrong?
I know that's the urban myth, yeah. I don't know if it's true.
It was true for the holiday special, for sure. That's why he had such heavy makeup
That's why
and
they
stuff
put,
on.
like, 200 pounds of makeup on him, yeah.
Listen, man, I've seen miracles happen with makeup. I still don't believe they couldn't have done a better job.
Look, the holiday special didn't have the highest of budgets, and what it did have went to other people. Listen, they got Jefferson Starship. They got so many, like, weird celebrity cameos. They had no money left for makeup.
Cameos.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford
much like I attempted to do for the holiday special of this episode, or this podcast, and not a lot of Star Wars people are on Cameo, unfortunately, is a thing I learned.
Really?
Fun fact, I was going to get a Billy D. Williams cameo for the holiday special, but Billy D. Williams wants like $200 for a cameo.
So maybe we should get a GoFundMe.
God.
Let's do a GoFundMe to get Billy D. Williams do the new intro to the show.
Oh, God.
I have other exciting Star Wars news.
Okay.
Oh.
We got a peek at, what's the book? It's an E.K. Johnston book. I believe it was actually a weird Wikipedia at one point.
I don't know.
Shoot. I'm like, I had this all ready to go, and now I lost it.
I'm very sad right now because C-3PO is very sad.
Queen's
I was
Hope,
reminded...
E.K. Johnston is going to feature the first trans clone trooper.
Oh.
I did see a little about
her
this.
Name is, she's only going to have a tiny part in the book, but her name is going to be Sister. And her name is Sister because all her brothers wanted her to feel welcome.
Okay. Okay.
I can get on board with that. I don't know how trusting I am of that in Disney's hands, but you know, we'll see.
That's another piece of news that came out this week. Sorry, I was paying attention to Obi-Wan being a dick, but...
Luke, I see that you're dying currently, but...
I really need you to go to Dagobah. Uh-oh. I accidentally paused for a second.
Okay.
No, that's fine. It happens to one of us sooner or later in these episodes.
For several seconds.
I like how they just have fucking ski goggles. Straight up just ski goggles. Luke.
Benny's talking to you.
Luke. Erased from the archives. I don't know why. Dagobah.
Why am I getting secondhand embarrassment from a child? I don't understand. Luke, Ben.
Oh, other news.
How embarrassing.
Other Star Wars news. I was reminded today that Quantic Dream is making a Star Wars game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about this on the podcast.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, the Heavy Rain people. That's who's making a fucking Star Wars game. But apparently the production is almost at a complete standstill because they cannot hire people to work on this game.
Yeah,
It's almost
on
like when
hold
you're a
now
studio that has some serious issues and backlash in the past, it becomes hard to hire people and find people that want to work for you and be associated with your studio.
Ain't that wild?
Yeah,
It's
it's
crazy.
been delayed to about 2027, but I'm starting to have doubts that it's even gonna come out.
It's never gonna come out.
2027.
That is, we're gonna
Jesus
say
Christ.
this is coming out in 6 years, and by then, hopefully, everyone has forgotten
What
about
is this
it.
fucking MCU scheduling? This game's never coming out.
Jesus. I mean, at least it'll be out before the next Elder Scrolls game.
You're not wrong.
I'm just sitting here thinking about the sister and how that's a little ironic considering everything that's happening with I'm just sitting here kind of stewing a little bit because of where they're putting their money and how hypocritical that is. But
Yeah.
Oh wait, what's going on?
Look, it's Mark Hamill in a Bacta tank in a diaper.
the CEO of Disney put a lot of money into the Don't Say Gay bill, like a lot of money.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Ben, what is a Gundark?
Oh, I can answer this.
Yeah, we actually see them in Clone Wars.
Yeah. I have like old like from 2006 book of like all the animals mentioned in Star Wars, and it's
They're
like this big red gorilla thing.
Yeah, they're like big red orc four-armed looking things. Two of the arms are like tiny, I believe, and they got pointy ears.
I don't know. Whatever image I have of it is non-canon now, so.
Yeah, they got 4 arms.
Fucking Luke Skywalker is sitting here fucking dying, and Han's just like, hey, your friend over here, we're both your friends. This friend has some feelings for me. Let me just flex my not actually girlfriend on you, Luke. And Luke's just sitting there like, God damn it, I my face hurts so goddamn bad.
Guys, I almost just got murdered. Can we, like, do this somewhere else?
Luke's just sitting back like,
Yeah,
that was awesome, but I couldn't feel any of it.
Then his goddamn sister walks over.
Well, ignoring the grossness, it's like, I can't feel anything, but I'll pretend like I could feel. This is another underrated character.
Sir, by the way, I know every single fucking language. I have no idea what that's saying.
Thank you, C3PO.
What's essentially that line?
I appreciate it, C3PO. I want to give a shout out to airplane rest collar man. The admiral in here of the rebels that has like 6 lines and has a collar that expresses so high that it looks like a neck rest. He's a good character. I feel like through these watches we haven't been giving enough attention to all the random characters.
Yeah.
That we really appreciate.
Hey, I shout out Wilro Hood about every third time we get to this movie.
You're right, Ben.
He's got a huge cosplay following. I'm dead serious.
Did you have to Google that?
No, I've known about that for years. I've known about that before we started this podcast.
No, I've known about that for years. Ben, there was an easy out there, and you could have taken it.
I gave you an out.
But you know what? More respect for not doing so.
Yeah, he's the guy who runs around in the background of Cloud City with the ice cream maker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, Jay knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I do, yeah.
Star Wars is such a weird franchise where that's a thing you can say to someone and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, the guy with the ice cream maker, of course."
I love how quick everyone shits their pants as soon as Darth Vader is within eyesight.
Oh, it's great. It's like the most consistent part of Star Wars. It's just like Vader enters a room and everyone's like,
Vader walks into a room. General not Tarkin. You are
That'd
not
be the
Tarkin.
best that's just how he addressed everyone. That's not Tarkin.
It's really true though. There's 4 Imperials. There's Vader, there's Palpatine, there's Tarkin, and there's everyone else.
That's how Vader addresses most people in Downtime Darth. Every time he sees a guy with a white hat, he's like, General not Tarkin. It's Admiral General not Tarkin. You have 2 days. If you do not please me, I will choke you. We don't talk enough about how Darth Vader went on a murder spree of his staff because he was missing Tarkin so much.
Promotions are the scariest fucking thing in the Empire. You literally sit there, see your boss get choked out, then Vader like turns around and points to you. He goes, "You're in charge now," and you're just like, "Okay."
Can I pitch a new episode of Papa Palps?
Oh no.
Yes.
It's just Gary gets called into the
It's always
Emperor's
Gary.
throne room. Gets called into the Emperor's throne room. This is before Larry. Larry died. That's right. We keep forgetting this.
Larry died off.
Larry died.
Gary
Larry
gets
got
called
killed
into the
off
Emperor's
at the end of
throne
season
room. Yeah, and the Emperor's like, "All right, Gary. I see here you have perfect attendance, doing very well. You've also turned down 3 promotions. What's the deal, Gary? What's the problem?"
My lord, I'm really comfortable in the spot I'm in. Gary, listen, Gary. I don't like to give career advice because, well, I don't give a shit about any of you, but I feel like for your family's sake, you should probably take the money. You never know when you're going to die. I mean, that's the problem, Lord. What? Nothing.
Gary,
nothing.
you don't understand. The Empire, we offer a fantastic 401k plan.
Let's talk about your benefits. You see, when you become an admiral, you'll get great dental. Listen, Gary, I like you. I don't want to see you go the way of Larry.
Gary, you and I both know what happened to Larry.
So my lord, do we get a life insurance policy? Oh no, of course not.
We brought Ben down from his wonderful Palpatine impersonation to our bullshit. I'm so happy.
Damn it. I had a great streak.
The streak is over.
Lord Vader, if Gary does not accept the promotion, blow up his planet.
Understood, my master. I will blow up not Tarkin's planet. No, it's very important that you make sure you know specifically who it is, Lord Vader, because we can't kill all of the not Tarkin's planets, Lord Vader.
Lord Vader, I feel like this is how we got to the Larry situation.
Lord Vader, listen. We are fascists, but there is a lot of paperwork I had to fill out for Larry. Making a fake death certificate and saying the way he died when he actually didn't die that way. It was a lot of work, Lord Vader.
Oh, God.
I fucking love the Battle of Hoth.
It's very good. It's very good. I feel like not enough Star Wars movies have just taken this cue of like, yeah, you should start on like a big battle.
Yeah. I mean, Revenge of the Sith did it, but it was like a different tone.
Yeah, Revenge
It was
of the
also
Sith
a
was
pretty
just like,
short
look, explosions,
space battle.
and everyone was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I've said this before, but in my honest opinion, that will probably dissipate in the next 2 years. Empire Strikes Back is the perfect team movie, and nothing will ever touch it, no matter how hard they chase it. Empire Strikes Back is the perfect, we pay attention to all of the characters, everyone has an arc in different places movie. Like, every MCU film that has more than one character tries to do it, they fail every goddamn time.
Yeah.
They can maybe get to good, they can't get to great. And the quintessential, we have many characters, let's give them all something to do movie is Empire.
I mean, just all of the reasons Empire is the best movie. I mean, you just stack them all.
Yeah.
The one pilot. Hold on. Is the one pilot named Hobby?
Hobby.
That sounds like a clone name.
It sounds like an activity.
No shit. No shit, really? I like that AT-ATs have very specific designs, so it looks like they have little cut off dog tails at the end, like the little nubs. Ben.
His name is Derek. Derek Hobby Clivian.
Listen, Derek Hobby, the heir apparent to the Hobby Lobby fortune. He's not a good guy.
Oh God, no.
He's a very bad guy.
He smuggled relics from Alderaan before it blew up.
Derek Hobby Lobby's not a good guy. Luke's still
Hobby
hanging
Lobby.
out with the same assholes that he would have been hanging out with on Tatooine. Derek Hobby.
Derek. And it's like in quote, like that's his nickname is Hobby. Like that's not his actual name, because that would have been too ridiculous.
No, his actual name is Derek. Who could forget that memorable Star Wars character, Derek Hobby? I don't accept that as a nickname, by the way. That's very clearly his last name, and I don't accept anything else. What'd you say, Chris?
I said, yeah, good shot, Jansen. I'm just watching the movie.
I just love like they're all like palling around. They're like, I'm gonna call you Hobby. You got a lot of activities you do. I'm gonna call you Hobby. Like, where does the nickname Hobby come from?
Listen, Derek, terrible starfighter pilot, but he was really good at chess and checkers. He taught me how to gamble. He could run a hell of a gambling ring. Dude took care of all of the pod racing bet brackets, and he cooked a mean potato cake.
This motherfucker's in Rebels.
Of course he is.
I love Han trying to explain how to fix the Falcon to Chewie.
Chewie's well aware.
Like, Chewie knows how to take care of that fucking ship.
Chewie knows the Millennium Falcon inside and out, and Han Solo has to be directed to things by Chewie. Chewie has the patience of a saint with Han. You can tell that George spent most of production focusing on this scene. Like, you can tell that he just decided to take 3 weeks and go, hey, I'm putting all of my attention into this, somebody else direct. Because, like,
take
it's
half
very
the
well
budget and just throw it at the first half an hour of the movie. Oh god, we're exactly at half an hour. I'm mad that I could judge where we are that accurately.
Well, listen. I've been thinking about making this a bit for a while.
Bobby! I'm sorry.
I've been thinking about making this a bit for a while, but I've never, like, found a good way to do it. So, fuck it, I'll just say it here. I guarantee if we pick a scene from one of these movies, we can quote it at least nearly line for line for at least 4 or 5 lines. We know these movies inside and out.
Even in, what was it, Rotation 3, the one time when I watched the movie with you, Jay, I was sitting there quoting most of the end of episode 3.
Well, I told y'all a while ago when we watched Last Jedi, or when Last Jedi was on TNT,
Yeah.
I was in the other room quoting the movie and what was happening, and I had to be told to stop. I know these movies very well. They take up an amount of my memory that they should not. Because I know for a fact, as soon as they get on the Millennium Falcon, it's 48 minutes in. And if it's not, I guarantee it's 46. Or no. When they get off planet, I'm guessing. It's one or the other. I'm doubting myself now. But I know this because somewhere between 48 minutes and an hour, 5 minutes in, I always check and say, is this movie done yet? I appreciate the pity laugh there. I like that the rebellion has a gun that's just sticky.
Listen, sometimes you need a gun that's just sticky, alright?
You need a gun with just a big fucking magnet at the end of it.
How did Luke not break his legs?
Because he just fell in all of the baking soda.
That's like... It's true. That's like 40 feet down, at least. And if somebody says it's because of the Force, I will pop them one.
I was about to say that.
He's literally never used the Force at this point. Except, like, in a metaphysical way. Luke Skywalker, at this point, is in the same position of Rey, where if somebody asked him to reach out with the Force, he would have just held his hands up.
Rip that cut scene where C-3PO rips the sign off and stormtroopers get attacked by Wampas.
There's a lot of, like, Wampas in the walls cut scenes from this part of the movie.
They were just keeping Wampas as pets on the fucking base.
No, like, the plot was... So I guess the idea was the Wampa area that Luke was trapped in interconnected with the Hoth base in a way that they didn't recognize because they used already dug tunnels for the Hoth base. So, like, Wampas could come and go, and because they were disturbed by all the activity, they come into the base and start taking people out.
You think Hoth is like Vader's favorite place because it's like the exact opposite of Mustafar?
I don't know, man. He's got a vacation home on Mustafar.
Now the snow's too much like sand.
It is coarse and rough, and it does get everywhere.
Like, how C-3PO's like, wait, I have a suggestion. And Han just points at him, and C-3PO's like, alright, I'll tell you later, I guess.
I mean, Han's a droid racist.
No, you're right,
I mean, the dude steals the Millennium Falcon, right? He steals the Millennium Falcon after Lando has his long-lost friend essentially become one with the Millennium Falcon, right? And he never acknowledges it ever again. He never even thinks to acknowledge the fact that that droid is now a part of the Millennium Falcon. No wonder the ship hates Han.
It's true.
So Han is Obi-Wan-esque droid racist.
Why are there so many goddamn droid racists?
I mean, George Lucas is one.
Because it's the trope in sci-fi. I think I've talked about this in the podcast. I'm always very nice to robots. Very nice to my Siri. You know, I'm always as nice as I possibly can be to robots, so that when the robot uprising happens, they remember.
Hello, any possible robots in the future, please be aware we are all very nice to robots.
And please forgive
too.
me for stupid shit I said to Siri when I was 20.
People have I have questions. We'll circle back to that.
I just used to yell at those kind of things when they didn't understand me shut the fuck up a lot. That's kind of the thing that I need to be forgiven, or I need to apologize for.
I was very respectful with my Siri. I say thank you to Siri, and my wife makes fun of me.
I also used to say thank you to Siri.
Used to. You stopped. See, the robots will remember that.
I don't have an iPhone anymore.
See, I'm technology illiterate, which is strange considering what I do with my free time now, but so I used to get very frustrated with voice command things.
This scene always makes me chuckle.
Huh?
This scene always makes me chuckle. Like, Han effectively makes two fucking Star Destroyers collide.
This is essentially that guy on a motorcycle video where he drives past the cops that are after him as they come around the turn, drives around the vehicle so the one pursuing him, like, intersects with it and then drives off. That's what this scene is. Also, I was way off by my recollection of the thing. Maybe it goes on the asteroid at 48. I don't remember, man. What would have happened if Han fell and broke his neck here?
I mean, Chewie would be fine flying the ship. It would.
Chewie would have saved them.
Just Han running back and forth.
I also like how Leia yells Han get up here at the floor of the cockpit.
I like that both Chewie and Han essentially ran away so someone else could fly the Falcon, like... Okay, that's what I was thinking. It's 38, not 48.
Well, 3PO, he just fucking did. What are you gonna do about it, huh?
No, tell me the odds, please. I share C-3PO's distress. Han just did a really stupid thing.
That's what I'm saying.
I know none of it's realistic in any even remote sense of the word, but like George Lucas's idea of what happens when a spaceship blows up is hilarious. Like,
he's been directly confronted with this, and he's like, it's fake. Like, that's essentially what he says, just like, it's fake.
Yeah.
It's like,
up there with some of the best professional wrestlers in just like, it's fake, fuck you, go away. Like, just one of the best reactions.
there's like an interview, I don't know where, but like I definitely have seen it where somebody was talking about the difference between space fights in Star Trek and Star Wars, where it's like Star Trek kind of takes the submarine or boat approach to battles, where it's like slow and clunky, and then Star Wars takes a way more fantasy cockpit approach and tries to make everything as big as humanly possible. And with that goes a lot of the science that would normally be associated with it. And then it cuts to George Lucas. He's just like, I don't know, it's fake. I like dog fights, so I added dog fights. And that's George's explanation. It's like,
That's
okay.
like, I was watching a video today of like this guy was rating like the guns of Fallout 4 based on how like they would function, and I'm sitting here the whole time like, dude, it's a fucking video game. Like,
Ben, this is something you would... Hold on, do I have to bring up the Lego tier list right now?
No, but like that's something I'll do for fun. I'm not gonna sit here for like half an hour and be like, this gun's not realistic because the magazine shouldn't get loaded in this particular spot. Like, we know, we don't care.
I'll never understand the obsession with like
guns.
I mean, yeah, but also like breaking down gun mechanics. Like,
I don't know. I find them
and then
mechanically interesting, but I'm not gonna cry if they look weird in a video game.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, there's so many people who get really obsessed with like weapons in like sci-fi and fantasy, and it's like, it's fake. I'm George Lucas. It's fake, y'all. All of it is fake. I have become the George Lucas.
All your Georges belong to us.
No, come on, Ben. It's 2022. I'm not usually the one to point out outdated references because I'm old, but my God.
Listen, some references are timeless, and the internet has made that one of them.
I don't think that's one of the timeless ones.
It's pretty dead at this point.
Now, here is where Luke Skywalker is an absolute dickhead to R2-D2.
Maybe I'm just too old. I don't know what internet slang is hip and happening anymore.
Here, Luke Skywalker treats R2-D2 like absolute shit. He's like worried about him for 1 second.
R2 just like sits there and hums. Like, he's like, fuck you, dude.
My favorite is when R2 goes,
yeah, exactly.
Because it's essentially, you can hear the tone of his voice saying, go fuck yourself. And we've lost Chris. Chris was so disturbed by the way R2-D2 was being treated that he had to leave. All right, Ben, what's the thing in the water?
That's a good question.
Wow, I stumped you.
That is something I do not know offhand.
This is a hell of an event.
It is a dragon snake.
What's that?
It is a dragon snake.
There are way too many pseudo-dragon names in Star Wars. I can't believe you didn't know that offhand. I'm so happy with myself that I pointed out a thing that you had to actually, like, Google. I stumped you, and I'm proud of it.
Oh my God, it was in Clone Wars, too.
Then again, we were talking about realistic guns. I love, like, sci-fi biology, so I shouldn't, like, say anything. I love speculative evolution, so I shouldn't say much. I'm not allowed to say
speculative evolution, though.
Hey, raise your hand if you've been personally assaulted by Serena, the World of Birds. I have. It's unfair. If you want to go check that out, go ahead, but you're going to cry at the end, and you're going to cry at some point, and it's very rude of them. Anyway.
I have no idea what we're talking about now.
You'll find it. You can look it up on YouTube later.
Oh, I know about this.
We keep losing Chris. And right at the right time when Vader's talking to not Tarkin. I would call him half Tarkin. Because I think he survives the movie, doesn't he?
Yeah, he gets promoted throughout the whole movie. No, he gets killed at the end when they escape Bespin, I believe.
He doesn't kill anybody at the end. Because everybody thinks
It's
they're about to
implied.
die. No, everybody thinks that he's about to die, and he's just like, "Aw, shucks," and he walks up. Because he's in Return of the Jedi, isn't he? Because he's like the one that's like, "I was just about to let them pass. It's an older thing, but it checks out." I think it's the same guy.
I don't think so.
Look it up.
Working on it.
Here's Han Solo being an absolute fucking creep.
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean that's a threat of sexual assault. That is right there, Han. Han, if your last name is really Solo. Han really is the fucking worst.
No, it's not Admiral Piet. Stop showing me Admiral Piet.
Admiral Piet. There's certain names in Star Wars that I always hear with the tone of voice of a character. Admiral Piet is one of those. It's always Darth Vader's voice in my head. Is this the only time we ever see that R2-D2 needs to recharge?
I think so.
So, other than, like, expanded content. Like, this is the only time in a movie I think we ever see a droid recharging.
No, I think there's other points where, like, it's implied, but never, like, a main droid character.
No, Rise of Skywalker, BB-8 charges Dio.
Who?
Pyramid Head.
Oh, yeah, right. Pyramid Head's in that movie. I keep forgetting that Pyramid Head is in that movie. I always forget that Pyramid Head is in that movie. It's a hell of an arc. Have you forgotten this, Chris?
What? What are we talking about?
So this fucking book.
No.
No.
Yeah, that was a bit that came out of the novelization of Rise of Skywalker, because they always just called Dio Conehead Droid. And I said it reminded me of Pyramid Head.
So there's an image that I made where it's just Pyramid Head standing in the room.
That's right.
I wasn't going to explain it. I was just going to let Chris be confused for a while. It's just a reminder that we've made 1,000 better versions of this movie. Is this the only time we ever see Yoda's feet?
Save my comment. I think so. Maybe. No, we see you.
I really don't want Yoda's feet to be in my search history.
Does he have a wiki feature?
You're the one that thought about doing that, not us.
It's because you know I'll look anything up.
Hey, here's a question. Why is Star Wars so obsessed with not giving Yoda's species a name? It's like a weird sticking point that they've decided on.
Because George had a weird thing about it being like a whole mystery and this whole big thing, and I think they're just trying to keep that alive.
The mystery of Star Wars is dead. Just do it.
Nah, I like his species kind of being very mysterious and unexplained. But also, Jay's the most sick of Star Wars out of the three of us, so...
I don't know, I had a pretty high point yesterday, but... Now I'm sitting here...
Chris and I are also actively watching TV series.
Motherfuckers.
This is my favorite Yoda appearance, though, this movie. He's a tiny little piece of shit, and I love him. But, like, a fun piece of shit, not, like, a cult leader piece of shit.
I don't know, man. Yoda's become fun for me across the board now. Like, don't get me wrong, cult leader, asshole, war criminal, but also deeply funny pretty much all the time. I like dickheads at this point, except Han Solo for some reason. If you're a dickhead, I like you. I think I'm just tired of spending time with these characters, so people that lash out interest me because I want to lash out at these characters as well. Once again, uncomfy scene.
Han is a real fucking creep in this movie.
He's a real piece of shit.
Ugh. Gross.
A summary of this scene.
Yeah. Why did I not pick up on how fucking creepy these scenes are as a kid? Like.
Also, this is like half the roles Harrison Ford is in.
Chris just visibly recoiled from his screen.
It's just the way he's rubbing her hands and just.
Ugh. It took a massive amount of restraint for Leia not to shoot him out the airlock at some point in this movie.
She would have been justified. She would have been beyond justified.
You're not a nice man, Han. I can tell you that for certain. C-3PO, sensing that something is wrong, runs into the room like, oh, fuck. C-3PO is the best, y'all.
I also love that a Star Destroyer just gets fucked up right in the fucking establishing shot there.
Darth Vader standing there looking at the flickering scene like, I didn't get to kill that one. That is disappointing.
Yes,
you think?
Yes,
it is Admiral Piet. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, he's in Return of the Jedi, right? Because this was the point we were talking about when Chris was off screen for a little bit. He's the one survivor that doesn't get killed largely because...
yeah, no, you're right. He dies on Endor. Well, not on Endor, but at
He
Endor.
dies, a little starfighter hits his Star Destroyer.
Yeah, and A-Wing crashes into the bridge of the Star Destroyer.
Yeah. I hate this scene, and it's not for any real good reason. It's just that...
Because the way it was rearranged from the original.
Far be it from me to judge Ian McDiarmid's performance. Thing is, Ian McDiarmid talks slower than the old Emperor did, so there's not a breath to be had in this very important conversation. And them just kind of running through the conversation bothers me. Now, granted, I know blah blah blah, current canon, he already knows, whatever the fuck, but still, the audience isn't supposed to know. Although I can't say mad at him because nobody pronounces a T like he does.
Yeah.
Great asset. Really, our Palpatine impersonation, I think, isn't terrible until I watch him do things, and it becomes abundantly clear that we're bad at it.
I feel so fucking bad for R2.
Lord Vader.
R2 treated like shit. Lord Vader.
Lord Vader, I'm pretty sure this is your fucking kid. Hold on, Lord Vader, we need to talk about this. It's just such a strange way. That's not how you talk to people. I believe this is the child of Anakin Skywalker. Look, you're talking to Anakin Skywalker. This is a weird way for you to be phrasing
But
it.
he wasn't
their
allowed
whole
to
thing
say
is
that
supposed
part
to
of the
be
plot.
like, oh, Anakin's dead, you're Darth Vader, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Also, we're not supposed to know that yet, so George had to write around his own dumbhood. My favorite thing, I don't think we've ever talked about this on the podcast. My favorite thing is George Lucas, before deciding that Vader would be Luke's father, went to actual therapists to ask them if this would fuck up a child. And I'm like, it's like, dude, it's a movie. It's not that deep.
Well, the other thing was he didn't think that children would believe.
No.
That coming from Vader.
The therapist told him, don't worry about it. The kids are going to decide that it's not true anyway because they won't want to believe it. So it wasn't that he believed it. It's that the therapist told him this, and he's like, all right, we're doing it.
And that's why at the beginning of Return of the Jedi, Luke goes to Dagobah, and Luke's like, so, my dad, and Yoda's like, I don't want to talk about this right now.
Yo, I mean, I didn't know this. This is actually new information to me.
Oh.
I didn't know the therapist thing. That's we give Georgie Boy a lot of shit, but that's kind of sweet. That's just
I guess so. Yeah.
It's such a nice little he doesn't want to scar children for life. Like that's weirdly, it's kind of nice. Maybe I just get sentimental when I'm high. Who knows?
I mean, it's a combination of the two. It was a nice gesture by him.
He doesn't want to scar children for life, and then he made Luke and Leia siblings.
It was a very nice gesture by him.
And a lot of children had a lot of questions.
Hold on.
And a very human thing for him to do. But it's also just pure nepotism.
But hold on.
It's like pure ego. It's such ego.
He goes, now, will finding out that the big scary man is his father scar a child for life? No? Okay, good. Doesn't think to mention the fact that Luke also gets a hand cut off in that same scene.
The therapist sitting in the audience just like, what the fuck did I okay?
There's just a therapist, eyes wide, like, I needed more details.
George, I think, calls him after, George, I think you should have told me a little bit more about the scene. He's like, you told me that it was all right. Yeah, I told you it was okay for the bad guy to tell his son that he was his dad. I didn't say that turning it into a parent beating the shit out of a child was okay. George, you want to talk?
It would be even better if, like, that therapist brought their kid to the movie, and then that happens, and, like, the whole rest of the night, the kid's just staring at the therapist, and they're like, what? And it's like, Dad, are you gonna cut my hand off?
Oh my god.
The therapist just, like, mails George Lucas a letter. It's like, okay, I was wrong.
I was incorrect in my assumptions, George. You said you were making a kids movie. This was not.
Definitely some damage here. Oh, it's our boy Theo. Or however the hell you pronounce that nightmare of a name.
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
We've talked about Theo, right?
What?
The Exogorth?
What?
The worm thing.
Oh.
We've talked about this, right?
I believe
we have not. I don't remember.
We talked about Theo specifically, but we didn't talk about the Exogorth.
We definitely talked about the worm. I've never heard this name before.
Yeah, it's its name. It has a name. You know it's a named character?
I didn't know it was a named character, no.
Yeah, this little worm thing's it's a space slug. It's an Exogorth. It's a CO,
okay.
SY-O.
That's some. Oh, I meant to bring this up earlier in the episode. Y'all have fucked up my brain. This podcast has fucked up my brain. We're talking about Gary and Larry. So I'm doing a Genlock, which is a Pokemon game where you play them all in order and bring up the ones you're playing with, and they can die and shit. I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey, I need a name for this like one Pokemon. And I put in Gary. And I'm like, I don't know where that came from in my brain, but it's there. And it wasn't until I was sitting here talking about Gary and Larry that I all of a sudden was like, oh no, that's the podcast.
The pieces fell into place.
So wait, this worm is named, like the species is named that? Or
this space slug's name.
Exogorth.
Yeah.
Why?
This specific Exogorth is named Seo.
Why? It's also very sentient and intelligent. It has like a whole internal monologue.
Also, the
that makes this character so much funnier.
I forget if it's these specific Minox, but there are a pack of Minox that are sentient or semi-sentient.
Oh, the Minox are sentient.
I forget if they're these Minox, but I know there is at some point in Star Wars a group of sentient Minox. But the worm is sentient.
That makes that worm not so much scary as it is goofy. Oh, I really like Space Rubble.
It's got this weird like thing where like it wanted to eat them because they have like a weird like some sort of weird culture or something. I don't remember. It's from that they did like it was a short story in something.
From a certain point of view.
Yeah.
Have I ever told? So I got in my life one issue of Star Wars magazine. One issue in my entire life, and it was right after Revenge of the Sith came out. And there was a short story in there. I don't know if y'all know this, but they put a short story in there about how Darth Vader became close with a stormtrooper, and that stormtrooper dies in a drill accident.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a short story.
It's Larry!
It was... Larry. See, we're going to canonize this. This will be a Downtime Darth episode. And this will be Gary.
They did a very similar story in the Vader comics. Like, they kind of repurposed that idea.
So when Gary dies, what's the next name? Terry? I mean, I answered my own question.
Barry?
Terry. It's always Terry.
And then when Terry dies, it's Barry.
It's always Terry.
It's always Terry.
Barry. Barry's good. What are some other names for that? We're gonna need them too, because we kill these guys off every couple episodes.
Carrie.
Yeah. Jerry. We haven't done Jerry yet.
Fuck Gary. Let's name this one Jerry. Jerry's a good name. Jerry's only around for one scene, and he comes around. It's like, what's the deal? Vader cuts his head off.
Lord Vader, I like that one.
All right, Daddy. Listen, we're changing your name to Jerry.
We got too close.
About it.
We've already made one Palpatine as Vince McMahon joke on this rotation. We can't do two.
I don't know who Vince McMahon is, Jay.
Lord Vader, is Gary any good at telling jokes?
I have this great idea, Lord Vader. Jerry Handfield.
No, you see, every time anyone from the Empire gives a last name, it has to be Solo. There is a precedent to be met here.
It's just that one customs agent, just like, God damn it, why did they send all of these to me?
No, I had another name and I lost it. It's gone.
Terry just has Terry Funks. Oh god. Oh god damn, Terry. I can't do a Terry Funk right now, apparently. This scene has so much context now that I still don't know what to do with.
What do you mean?
Well, it just means something different with Last Jedi in mind. Like, it goes from, hey, you could be the evil your dad is if you're not careful, to something more akin to you are your own worst enemy. And the greatest challenge you will face in your life is not Darth Vader, it's you. Like, the context is just different now. You stop thinking about what it means in the context of Empire and Return of the Jedi, and you start thinking of the context of the rest of the saga.
You're right.
And I don't know what to do with that information. Like, it's been a couple of rotations since I first brought this up, and I'm still kind of wrapping my head around it. Hey, Bosk, why are you standing on the edge there? Like, your claws aren't even dug in. You could fall real easy. You know what? Better question. Hey, George. Hey, George, or co-director, why did you have that individual stand on the edge there where them in a mask they can't see out of could fall at any given time because their feet are not adequately placed and balanced?
Three.
Chris did a hand motion of a ship shooting off into hyperspace.
He just started doing sound effects. Oh my god.
With the ka-chow.
Oh my god.
I'm still so mad that this works.
It worked for Obi-Wan.
Except Obi-Wan was hoping to die.
That's my favorite thing about that Obi-Wan trailer, by the way. It just solidifies it. Him talking about how he just wants to die over watching young Luke Skywalker pretend to be a pod racer. I also like the one scene we get with Owen in that trailer. He's just an angry asshole. It's like, all of our headcanons are coming to roost now, baby. They've been listening to the show, taking notes.
Owen was like the smallest stretch we ever took.
It's true. You can thank R.A. Salvatore for that.
You can thank R.A. Salvatore for that.
You can thank R.A. Salvatore for a lot of things.
Yeah. And by thank, I mean want to punch. Hey, Yoda.
And, you know, R.A. Salvatore made one thing that I really liked, which was like the Dritz novels. And much, again, like Vince McMahon, just doesn't know how to end this fucking storyline.
The problem with... Am I going to go on a Drizzt rant right now? The problem with the Drizzt novels is that...
2022.
This is the third Vince McMahon reference we made, so now I need to know.
Oh, he's the guy in charge of the WWE. He's the owner. And also sometimes an on-screen character. The problem with the Drizzt novels is that Drizzt is a good character and the novels are bad. Like, that's the actual problem. Like, he made a good character, but in the context of the novel and the stories told in the novel, not good.
There is no try.
Oh, that's Vince McMahon?
Yes. I would also like to point out, Yoda was just asking for trouble when he decided to balance himself on one of Luke's feet while he was standing upside down. Like, he knew that Eiffel Tower was going to come crumbling down at some point.
So it's the most excitement Yoda's had in years, all right?
Yoda doesn't strike me as someone who craves excitement. He's not Palpatine white-knuckling it on a crashing ship.
Nah, but he's been stuck by himself for 19 years.
I mean, his brain's fried, sure.
Obi-Wan's clearly been having some fun fighting Inquisitors and stuff. At least Yoda's had nothing to keep him busy.
I mean, that's until we get the Yoda miniseries.
I was gonna say, I do want a Yoda
nothing.
miniseries.
You want one?
Where nothing happens. Like, it's just him on Dagobah.
Don't ask for that, because we could have had Cheers and they didn't want to do that, so we're not getting anything that's
we
just...
We weren't gonna get Cheers.
Hey, listen.
Jay.
Shut up!
If it's anything like Boba Fett, if it's anything like Book of Boba Fett, we'll get one episode of this Obi-Wan series that's just 28 minutes of Yoda sitting in front of a campfire on Dagobah. Which honestly, I would be so mad, but hilarious. Like, if that was literally the whole episode, like, it's like a single frame, Yoda's just sitting there doing nothing, and we cut to credits.
Now that you've had a couple of weeks, what do you think of Book of Boba Fett?
I was gonna say, that's another thing. I love how the fan base just started shitting all over Book of Boba Fett, and I'm like, it's a show, guys. Chill out.
I really liked The Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, I understand why people weren't happy with that based on the context. I heard more about everybody but Boba Fett in that show than I did Boba Fett. So I can understand people being like, I didn't like this because I wanted to fucking see Boba Fett.
I don't really care about Boba Fett anymore, so I mean...
Most of the people I saw angry were like, oh, this guy spun around before he shot someone in my science fiction show. I'm outraged.
Those people are never going to go away.
I don't really give a shit about Boba Fett as a character at this point. So, like, no, I really liked, I said to my dad at one point, I was like, look, in my opinion, it was a good show overall, but the best episodes of the Book of Boba Fett were the episodes that did not feature Boba Fett.
You're right.
And I don't care. I like the little moped gang.
Yeah, they were cool. Book of Boba Fett was a filler arc. Like, It was literally it was BioWare does this thing where they'll make a couple novels between games to get the world from point A to point B. That's what Book of Boba Fett seems like it was. It was literally just a novel built to get the world from point A to point B so that you go back to the Mandalorian and be on a set point.
I am excited for when people like my one coworker start watching Mandalorian season 3 and have no idea what's happening though. It's like, where did this ship come from? What the fuck is happening? Why is Baby Yoda here again? What the hell?
I'm good, my dude.
Because my coworker was like, yeah, did they start Mandalorian season 3 yet? This is before the 2 episodes without Boba Fett in Boba Fett.
Hey, here's a question. Maybe I should caution to bring this up, but the May 4th special, should we just wait till May 25th and do like a Obi-Wan thing instead?
We could.
I'm not opposed.
I mean, granted, like,
if we were going to do an Obi-Wan thing, it would probably be better to do it after the series is over.
Right.
We do an emergency broadcast where we just talk about the series as a whole.
Peek behind the scenes.
Since it's the most mainline series.
Peek behind the scenes real quick here. This rotation has been a lot, and we've been trying to sync it. This episode comes out, after April, so, we did the April Fool's episode, like, at the beginning of January.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to find a place to sneak in Solo here, and that's not gonna fucking happen. So maybe we
make
Solo
to get out of Solo again.
We can make Solo happen easily. What are you talking about?
Or we could wait until all of Obi-Wan's out and then do a podcast where we review Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but in the meantime.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we do Solo.
I don't know, Chris, if you're down considering you have a baby on the way, like, a couple days before.
Well,
So
we're not going to be
record it in
recording.
advance.
Yeah. I thought that was the plan. We talked about this. That's why
I
we
was did.
recorded
I
the
was
fourth
trying to
episode
get
so
out
late.
of
Just
it.
painted in.
I was
Trying to get out of Solo.
it. I was
Don't get to get out of
desperately
Solo.
trying to get out of it.
Look, we got to do something for May 4th. We didn't do it last year, did we? I mean,
No, we
No,
did.
we
That
did
was
Rogue
Rogue One.
that was Rogue One. That's right. Yeah, we can't skip it now that we did it. Come on.
No. That's what I was trying to say. Like, our May 4th special is, like, Obi-Wan, which comes out on the 25th.
Yeah, but it can't be our May 4th one if it comes out.
It can't be our May 4th episode. We need to put something
Thank
up
you,
on May
Jay.
4th.
You
All right,
talked
we'll
me out
watch
of it.
Solo.
We're part of the Star Wars fandom in a weird, obtuse
I'm
way. We have to
staring
put
at
something.
Han Solo's face and thinking about how much I don't want to watch Han Solo, God damn it.
Yeah, but we get Donald Glover.
Love Donald Glover.
I really do appreciate the thought process I have where people just come back to this rotation to watch this whenever they decide to watch the movies, and we're spending like half the episode talking about fucking Obi-Wan and
Why does the Slave One make like fucking World War II era plane noises
Ben Burtt.
in space?
Okay, but you can't peel open this fucking onion because then you have to talk about
as the
everything.
explosions in space.
Yeah, we got to talk about, like, Ben, once you start to peel this back.
No, I know.
Everything
This
Star Wars.
happens to me once in a while, but I'm just like, why though?
Because
I know it's because movie. I know it's because
Ben
cinematic
Burtt was
and
put
fun.
in an impossible situation where he was asked to make
This line makes me
fantasy
laugh.
machines in space make sounds, and he was like, this shouldn't even be happening.
And George Lucas was probably like, they probably sound like airplanes. And Ben Burtt's like, okay, fine.
No, it was Ben Burtt's idea. It
That was all
absolutely
Ben Burtt?
The way he says this, through the Force things you will see or whatever. It's like he's offering Luke Skywalker psilocybin right now. Shrooms I got.
Well, isn't like the meme where it's Yoda on ketamine?
Yeah.
48 hours you have.
Yoda does DMT with Luke in the swamp.
Oh yeah.
Young Skywalker. DMT have you done? I knew I was gonna get Chris with that.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. I love how many like memes that we have recontextualized for Star Wars on this fucking podcast specifically.
Oh, trust me.
It's not even the first time we've done the Rogan DMT memes in the context of this podcast.
Oh, is that a
We've
Joe
done a
Rogan
lot
thing?
of them. Which is funny because we fucking hate that. I mean, we left Spotify partially because of that asshole.
Uh-huh.
But I have like a Rolodex of the memes that we've done on the podcast in my head, and they're just constantly flashing through so fucking fast that I can't remember all of them anymore. I made a lot of shit for this podcast. Emphasis on the shit.
But it's glorious and we love you for it.
I don't love me for it.
Well, I love you for you.
Thank you, Ben.
Birds.
Jay,
I like the
one
point.
day, I need you to understand it. We've talked about this a lot in a very joking manner, but I really, truly believe it to be true. One
Don't
day,
say
people
this.
are going to discover this podcast,
And God help the world when that happens.
and there's going to be so much content that now exists throughout the larger Star Wars fandom because of these horrific memes that we have created because of this podcast.
I hope it's after I die.
Just
Man,
me
I
being
can't wait for
haunted at,
people.
like 40 years old by like old memes, and my kid being like, "What's this?" I'm like, "I've done this. I'm partially responsible for this."
Fucking go back to like rotation 3 and go, why does this woman not understand how fucking layers work?
Chris is gonna be there. This kid's gonna be like, "Hey, Dad, look at this meme," and Chris is gonna be like, "Oh my God, it's happening."
Flashbacks.
It's come full circle.
Lando walks out like that ship and the former love of my life inside of it, and that bastard that took it away from me. How Lando fucking deals. If I was Lando, I would never forgive Han Solo.
I mean,
never
to
in
be
a
fair,
million years.
It was a card game that both of them were cheating at.
Doesn't matter. Han Solo knew. Han Solo was on the ship when he watched his dearest friend and maybe lover die in his arms, and he was still like, the remnants of that lover is in the ship, but what if I take it anyway? That motherfucker. That is the worst fucking thing. Not the worst thing Han Solo has ever done, but it was pretty fucking shit. And then this guy has the gall to stand here and go, why is Lando mad at me? I don't know, man. You basically kidnapped his best friend. Solo's a bad movie.
You're not wrong. I cannot disagree.
My dad can't remember any of the new names of the movies. So, whenever he says the newest one, it could be like one of 3 movies. And then he'll say the bad one, and I go, oh, Solo. And he's like, yeah. He always refers to Solo as the bad one.
That's fair.
Of the one to forget.
That.
But my dad has no taste, so that makes it even funnier.
It's the one where it's probably the easiest to remember just by the title. What was that movie? The one with Han Solo? What could that be called?
Chewbacca, a Star Wars story.
All right, let's put up the salutes because we're about to lose our chauffeur for a while.
I love when C-3PO comes out and says, like, oh, familiar face. And the alien just says something, and 3PO is like, how rude. Every single time, all I can think now is in droid speak. The door opens, 3PO's like, familiar face. And that droid just goes, fuck yourself, and keeps walking.
That's literally what they said.
A curse in Star Wars. Echuta is a curse in Huttese, I believe it is.
It's used in other places in the movies to specifically be a curse.
Fantastic.
Not that curses are used consistently anywhere in the Star Wars saga, because they could mean anything from fuck you to go fuck yourself. Like, the context is always weird, but...
Just like a very aggressive, like, Eddie Kingston, like, fuck yourself, man.
We gotta stop making wrestling references today.
Today? You and I do it everywhere, all the time. What are you talking about?
And I'm very upset
I'm very upset that the last episode wasn't called the 1059 roll-up.
1059 roll-up is good. No, we agreed, though. We knew what we had to do.
Okay, I still don't get, how the fuck was the cave a failure on Luke's part?
Because he brought a weapon in. He was told not. He failed before he ever walked in.
Yeah, but like, okay, what kind of fucking lesson is this?
To not trust your aggressive feelings. He decided to go
to whatever the fuck a little green man tells you in a
That's
swamp?
True, Ben. That's true. But it's supposed to be like, this is like very clearly depicted in the movie. Like, the idea is your friend, the person that is teaching you, is telling you that there is nothing dangerous in there unless you pick a fight. You decide to pick a fight. And he goes, but what if I pick a fight? That's it. He failed before he even walked in. I will defend the middle of Empire Strikes Back.
You'd think now would be a good time as he's leaving, going off, like, Obi-Wan, it'd be a good time for him to be like, Luke, Explain the situation. He murdered a bunch of children.
Like a lot of children, Luke.
As soon as you can, you might want to
lot
get
of
rid of that lightsaber, Luke.
Yes.
R2
Also,
What's R2D2?
also he might. Also, he's your
R2D2.
dad.
What? R2D2 knows that he's Vader, so what's R2D2 thinking right now? As R2D2 is... See, this is the best thing about this live commentary. We have together discovered things that are way below the surface because we're all watching them together, and the best arc to come out of this rotation has been R2D2 has seen some shit, man. So now he's getting into an X-Wing, and he's just having non-flashbacks like, oh, fuck, I have to go see Anakin again? Last time I saw him, he killed a bunch of dudes.
After we left from killing a bunch of children.
No wonder he's so effective on Cloud City. He wants to run.
And C-3PO was just like, hey, see ya, R2, have fun, you fuck.
Well, R2 has no idea what's about to happen until he's on Dagobah and he's getting in the X-Wing. It's like, wait, no. We aren't doing this right now, are we? I can't go back, man. I can't go back. No,
God,
that's...
Once in a while, when... I'm sorry, Jay, your point's probably more relevant right now.
Not really.
Okay, I was just gonna say, I love how once in a while, I'll just have flashbacks to the early watches when we unpacked the whole Lando clone thing when we're watching this movie. And it makes me fucking lose it every time. That never gets old. I'm just like, that was a thing George Lucas wrote. Like, that was
that
almost
just,
reality.
It's just droid parts in, like, TSA bins.
I like... My favorite thing is IG... Yeah. There was the Bounty Hunter Saga book that I talked about where it has one story for every bounty hunter that's in Empire. Tells the story of how they ended up there. And it's non-canon now, because everything I love is non-canon.
What do you mean? The movies are still canon.
Everything I love is non-canon. Here we go, baby.
It's happening. I'm so excited.
Get ready, gang. This is going to turn
Audience, what you can feel is palpable excitement in the chat room right now.
Pop a palpable excitement. Oh, God, kill me.
Ugh. Oof, that was a rough one.
Oh, that was too good.
Ugh. Yeah, I'd say it's time.
Been encouraged, apparently.
So this whole time, Lando knows he's leading them to a trap, and he's just like, yeah, let's make small talk.
Yeah, he has like a villain monologue on the way there.
Lando Calrissian is a cold motherfucker, all right?
He's only a villain monologue in retrospect.
He gets to the door opens, they do the shoot, and then the stop thing, and then he looks around and goes, wait a minute. Lando, did you just villain monologue to me?
Darth Vader does slam poetry.
Yeah, my favorite part of this is that he was legitimately sitting down, too, and, like, gets up, like...
My guests have arrived.
Boba Fett is just a sidestep behind that pillar, like, he's staring at a wall, like he's waiting for a surprise party.
There's 70 stormtroopers following them closely behind. It's like...
They're just tapping, they turn around, all behind a wall.
Tell us?
Han and Leia, like, fucking in the hallway leading up to his villain monologue. You're just like, dude, we know what's about to happen.
If they're walking with Lando, they look down just the wrong hallway, see, like, 10 stormtroopers there. Like, Lando, is there something you want to tell us? Would you care to share why there's Imperials here?
They look down the hallway and there's just two stormtroopers talking. The one's like, yeah, man, I mean, I took the promotion. Palpatine was very insistent upon it. I saw what happened to Larry. I'm just really worried.
And then he called me back in, told me my name's Jerry now?
Yeah, I guess I'm Jerry now. Can he just do that? Is he allowed to do that?
They step in, and Vader's just sitting there. Vader always, when there's a table and he knows a dining scene is about to happen, or a dining scene, when he knows there's about to be a dinner, he just sits down. It's like, well, I can't eat any of this. I guess I'll just sit here. It's the same thing as in A New Hope, where he just stands with his hands on the back of the chair for like 50 minutes in 2 different scenes. And they walk in, and Darth Vader looks around and is like, listen, this was not me. Lando set up this entire thing. I mean, I'm going to torture you all. That was my idea. But Lando made it community theater. Lando goes, this is not community theater. This was Broadway.
God,
they get inside. There's just a musical number.
Can somebody explain to me what this thing does?
It's very hot. That's it. That's what that thing does. It's very hot.
Oh, okay. So they're like waffle ironing Han Solo in this room?
Basically.
Okay.
He doesn't actually ever touch it. It's literally like hot coals.
It's a piece of mining equipment.
Wow, Vader got creative in his torture.
So, all right, Lando, what do you have here that I can use? I need.
Fucking... I'm sorry, Chris.
I'm just riffing on Vader, just using whatever the fuck's around to torture people.
He straight up just fucking uses it to zap Han Solo with electricity. Thing's supposed to analyze and gather data on minerals, and he's like, fuck it. We could turn this into a torture AED.
Oh, man, I really can't wait until I read the Geneva Conventions, man. I can't wait. That's a great out-of-context quote.
Oh, wait, that's Legends. It's an official torture device in canon.
No, fuck that shit. Don't you fucking... Take the fresh cannon.
Mr. Calrissian, what do you have around here I can use? Well, I have this thing that can extract data from the sediment in my minerals.
I want you to pick up that fresh cannon. I want you to put it in a box and let it go back.
No. Nope. I need to read this first sentence.
Box and mail it to Kathleen Kennedy.
No, I'm reading it.
Mail it back to Kathleen. Kathleen, we still have your email.
No, this is one of the best Wikipedia sentences I've ever read.
No.
The Imperial torture device was a mechanism that was used for torture.
All right, I don't know. I can't hear you. I can't hear you for some reason. Like, I have a little, like, earbud in one ear, and then the headphones on over it, so it makes it hard to hear, so I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, That's a mining device.
Let me try it again. So, the Imperial torture device.
Do you want me to kick you in the nuts tomorrow?
Jesus Christ.
I got aggressive quickly. Jesus Christ.
God, I'm gonna have to wear a cup to D&D tomorrow. Jesus. I realized D&D was becoming a full contact sport.
D&D
when you play it right, it is. Listen, I think we've had a few sessions in the past, specifically in the game you ran, Jay, where if we were sat at a table, there would be some fists flying, probably in my direction.
God, this fucking movie.
This facility is crude.
This
is a hilarious piece of dialogue.
Fucking mining place, Darth.
Just a hilarious. Ugh.
Do you see the little guy rappelling in?
I also love these stormtroopers that are very clearly mannequins.
Notice that
they're not mannequins.
Oh my god, no, they're people.
Oh my god,
they're not mannequins, dude. They just moved.
I know. I thought they were standing so still. I'm high. I feel like I'm high.
You've never been high a day in your life.
High on life. Every day, motherfucker.
I also would like to point out, because we grazed over it, because Chris made the accurate description that he made an asshole in game, and there probably would have never been brawls, but it's a funny thing to imagine where his one character's just like, I do this thing, and somebody stands up like, you son of a bitch.
I've never heard since that game ended someone exclaim my name so much. Like, it's never happened in D&D since. Right, you're Chris.
But I like that Lando gave Han a free punch, and then Han throws a left hook that misses by 7 miles, and then Lando's just like, pathetic, bro, and then walks out. Everybody gets 1 on Lando.
It's hilarious every time, and I still don't quite understand the reasoning. But the Boba Fett putting his blaster up and Vader pushing it down is very funny to me. And and there you go. That's Gary getting thrown down the shaft by Chewbacca, and there's Gary. And now we can move on to Jerry.
Jerry!
That scene, they come in from the hallway. They come in from the hallway, and they're still talking. He's like, yeah, man, I don't know. He's the Senate. I guess he can just change my name, huh? And then he gets thrown into the pit.
He's already filled out
this motherfucker. All right, fuck this shit. So this motherfucker is so insecure in his masculinity that he might not live when he goes down there. So she says, I love you. And because this weak motherfucker can't admit feelings, he just goes, I know. Like, people pretend like that's like this great line. No, this motherfucker's just weak. He's a weak coward.
I like to think that this, like, the anguished roars coming from Chewbacca is him just like to Vader, like, I'm gonna fuck you up, I'm gonna rip your fucking arms off, bitch.
You haven't told me about you, motherfucker. He kept talking shit about this really annoying kid that he fucked with. How's your wife?
My God. My God, Jay.
Holy shit. Jesus, is Chewbacca being played by Eddie Kingston? Actually, I kind of want that casting. Can we get Eddie Kingston to redub Chewbacca?
Oh my God, I wish I could redo all the movies and just put Eddie Kingston lines in Chewbacca roles. Can we talk about 3PO in this scene? Because we don't do it enough.
Okay.
And we talk about, I feel like I'm alone on this, but we talk about how Chewbacca saves his life. Chewbacca puts him back together. Chewbacca carries him on his back because it's his bud. No, Chewbacca laughed as he put him together in the most terrible way possible. And then carries him on his back like a backpack so he can never see what the fuck is going on around him. The existential dread that C-3PO is in for the last 40 minutes of this movie is palpable.
I mean, like, it's not like he had the time to properly piece C-3PO together completely.
Ben, I don't accept this, and you want to know why?
What do you mean you don't accept? He didn't have, like, 3 hours to just sit there and
I don't
play
accept it
Jigsaw
because there is
C-3PO.
literally a scene where he puts C-3PO's head on backwards. C-3PO starts to talk and says that he's on backwards. He turns him off and laughs.
He didn't turn him off.
He turns him off and laughs, Ben.
No, to be fair, he turns him off as C-3PO is calling him an overgrown, like, mop.
Yeah, that's true.
Headed, like,
That's
he's
true.
like, C-3PO is being an asshole, so.
Right. But to be fair, everybody's been yelling at C-3PO for what he remembers as the last 3 hours. Everything goes silent, and then he comes back, his head's on backwards. Chewbacca is amused by this fact. Like, Chewbacca could have put his head on right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but Chewbacca was just like, I don't know, I feel like he was just like dicking around. Like, he wasn't like...
He was dicking around is my point. He was being an ass.
Yeah,
he was
but like...
fucking with 3PO.
That's what friends do. I fuck with people all the time.
I know, and I fuck with you, but I want to point out that this was not a kind thing that Chewie did. He was fucking with him.
But he also saved his life.
I guess.
What do you guess? He was about to go in an incinerator.
Listen, man. If I woke up with none of my arms and my head on backwards, I might have just preferred that I was left behind.
Okay,
The
but also,
body
if you
horror
were a
that they
robot,
the body horror that they put C-3PO. This might also just be because I'm trans.
This is turning into another.
No, it might also be because I'm trans. But the body
That's fair.
horror that they put C-3PO through in this movie is horrifying. To turn the attention away from this, R2-D2
R2-D2.
once again enters a facility where he knows that Darth Vader is murdering people.
And then promptly gets abandoned.
Door fucking closes. He's like, thank God.
Like, this is either really
R2
good
just like, not my
or
problem.
really bad.
Not my problem. Not my problem. R2-D2's like, awesome. See ya, Luke. I'm out of here. This is literally what R2 does, by the way. He meets up with the others. The others are trying to escape. He gets the others to escape, gets on the Millennium Falcon, goes, fuck Luke Skywalker, and leaves.
Goddamn Skywalkers.
This is for leaving me in the swamp.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like if anyone was like, all right, we're getting out of here, I don't think R2 would have much say. They'd just be like, oh, look at this silly little droid. I know the prequels have, like, the best, like, over-the-top, like, crazy action duels. But I love the pacing of the original trilogy duels, especially Cloud City is, like, the quintessential.
The pacing of the Episode 5 and Episode 6 duels.
Yeah.
Let's be hyper-specific about this.
Nah, Death Star is fantastic. And to prove Lando's trustworthy, he turned coats yet again.
Listen, he's had more,
how the turn
has had more fucking turns than Big Show in this movie.
All right, Chris.
C-3PO's like, I knew all along. Like, bitch, no, you did not.
There's not a single person that listens to our podcast that's a wrestling fan. Not one.
Fucking Jerry's just being led away over there by the Cloud City guards, and he's like, "Do you see that? They killed Gary back there. That fucking Wookiee killed Gary."
Can't wait to tell Barry about this.
Barry's not gonna fucking believe it.
I can't believe we have to tell his widow, Carrie.
I thought Carrie was another stormtrooper.
There's two different Carries. Kerry and Car.
Two Carries.
No, his widow, Sherry. Sherry's gonna be very upset.
Oh, wow.
We pitched a whole episode of Downtime Darth tonight.
It's more than one episode.
I love that if they went down that corridor like 10 seconds later, they would have abandoned R2 by accident on.
I know, because R2-D2's life is pain and nobody cares about him, and it's terrible. R2 is running for his fucking life.
Listen, now that Disney Plus is
R2's running
actually
for the stormtroopers. He's like, take me out.
Just end it. Just fucking end it.
I'm sorry, Chris, you were about to say something?
I'm just saying, like, now that Disney Plus is actually going to start having, like, more mature content on the platform, I really think our chances of making Downtime Darth are pretty good. It's going to happen. We're going to make it happen.
So,
I do love that jump.
That jump's great.
I've never noticed how R2-D2 just moves around in random directions when the shots are firing. It's not even a donut, it's just forward, back to the side, forward, back to the side.
I keep forgetting you're just like a little behind us.
He does like just enough to make it look believable that he's trying to dodge things.
Luke's doing the fucking high school gymnasium rope.
Vader never went to school, so he has no idea that that's a thing that people work out with.
Like how Luke does a forward somersault. Vader's just like, oh, I remember the last time I tried that.
I was about to say, how do you think the choreographer for the original trilogy thought of the choreography for the prequels? But then I remembered that like Luke does a forward somersault in Vader's guard over him. Luke didn't have the high ground there. Okay. Why was there a light switch there, though?
Listen, Lando's got light switches all over the place. I think. He's got like the whole base hooked up to his Alexa. It's great, you know.
Have I told y'all what happened when I was at Ben's house? Ben made me think I was fucking crazy.
Oh, I do remember this story, but I don't think you've told it on the podcast. Maybe. I don't remember.
I don't think
so at Ben's, I'm sitting in the dining room. Because the dining room was where I slept, and it's also where I had my computer sitting there. I believe I was editing the podcast. No, I wasn't. But I had it open because I was going to name it. I was waiting on a naming convention. And all of a sudden, the light over me goes out. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And it comes back on, and it's just duller than before. So I sit there and I edit a little bit, and then it flickers a little bit more. And it comes on a weird color. I'm like, oh, boy.
Like blood red.
And I was like, that's not good. So I go over to Ben, and it's like, does your light change colors? He's like, no. I'm like, well, it just changed colors. You should probably take that shit out. Ben walks into the hallway, and before he could get out, the light goes out. And he's like, all right, you just made a liar out of me. And Ben's just like flabbergasted, supposedly.
Well, the light went back to normal.
Back to normal. I walked into back into that dining room like, am I fucking crazy? Did I hallucinate all of that? Because it's not impossible that I would have hallucinated all that. So I'm like losing my mind. I go back in. About 5 minutes later, the same thing happens, except this time it's like purple and red lights.
Wait. There he is.
Jerry, no.
Jerry, no. Anyway, yeah.
So it like purple and red. It's like the combination of the two. And I walk in and I say, Ben, it happened again. Come here quick. And then I could just tell by the way he was looking at me. It's like, you're fucking with me, aren't you? He has a Wi-Fi control over the light bulb in that room, and he was trying to drive me nuts.
So good.
Ben,
what you should have done is you should have done
shut off right when you walked into the hallway. Something's going on. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. At this point, every fiber of my being is failing to keep a straight face.
You kept a straight face that first time.
Ben, you really should have just done the meme and done like the made the light red and then started playing like the Skyrim like boss fight music.
I like that Lando taught these stormtroopers choreography and how to step in tow so that nobody can hear them, and then just fucking murders people left and right at the end here. Full turncoat.
I know I saw all of you in orientation. I'm very sorry for this.
But he goes to Jabba's palace and he becomes emotionally connected with the owner of a Rancor.
It's my favorite bit of Lando canon that we've created on this podcast.
My favorite piece of Lando canon is that he hates Han Solo, but he just thinks Luke's a cool guy despite having never had a one-on-one conversation with him.
Luke is the person who Lando's just like, yeah, he seems pretty cool. And, like, never wants to meet him because he wants to continue thinking Luke's pretty cool.
This duel is very good because, like, Vader's very patient and slow in that first part of the duel. And then as soon as Luke knocks him off a fucking ledge, he comes in just swinging all pissed off.
Coming at him.
We were talking about Ben fucking with me, so we didn't actually say this out loud, but my favorite part of this duel is the funniest part of this duel, where Vader just starts fucking force floating random things on, like, string towards Luke.
When he gets the whole glancing blow and starts making, like, samurai noises.
Yeah.
Samurai noises.
And he's like stereotypical
Ben!
anime. Like, that's a stereotypical anime thing. That's things that are done in animes.
Oh my god. I don't like to think about anime.
That's fair.
Bring order to the galaxy. Luke, come with me. We can step on a lot of throats.
If that's your thing, Luke.
Dude, you blew up a planet last time I was near you.
No, that was talking, Luke. See, there's a difference between me and Tarkin. I respect Tarkin. You respect Tarkin? No, Tarkin's the kind of guy where you put all the politicians in a room together and make them decide. It's like, that's just called fascism, Dad. I don't know. It worked on your mother. You're smart, Luke. I'll give you that. It worked on your mother. You're my dad? Awkward way to bring it up, but yes, I'm your dad.
Very
I'm
awkward.
your papa.
Sorry about this.
Chris is crying.
Oh, God. We have rotted our fucking brains so much with our own bits, and I love it so much. Oh.
I got Chris to cry. I'm happy.
Here's one of my favorite shots, too.
Hold on.
Fucking...
Y'all are like a second ahead of me, but the one where he goes into the vents, like
no, right before that, when Vader's like trying to convince him, and he just sees Luke jump, and he has his arm out and just drops it.
Luke, come back.
Like, did that?
Child Protective Services is going to have questions.
Did that just fucking happen?
Luke, I owe a lot of years of back child support.
I know I haven't always been there for you.
You've never been there for me, Dad. I've never met you.
I want to make up for it, son. We can get ice cream sometime.
Oh my god.
Vader just got the ice cream.
I cannot eat the ice cream, but you can eat the ice cream, and I can stand there and watch.
Dad,
he hands Luke the ice cream cone, and then Vader just goes, and just
right into the mask. Dad, you just cut my hand off. It's a family tradition.
You can have a cool robot head like your dad.
It's a Skywalker tradition, Luke. We hate hands. Without a hand, you cannot feel sad. What's your problem with sand? You grew up on Tatooine. Oh, that's a great point, Dad.
So
wait, shit.
So wait. Luke only has one hand at the present moment.
I don't like where this is going.
Does that make him Han Solo?
I hate you so fucking much. I hate you. I hate you.
Right now,
you
son of a bitch.
Definitely wearing a cup to D&D tomorrow.
Never. I would never. But I will tell everyone you made that joke, and that's actually kind of worse.
And Solo, you motherfucker.
And Solo. The disdain in Vader's voice as he walks through that hallway, just like, God damn it. And also get Palpatine on the phone. I need to spin this.
I need to spin this, and I need to spin this hard.
Lord Vader,
You find your child.
Lord Vader. So here's what we do. We shut down Child Protective Services. Sure, it won't win us any votes, but nobody votes anymore. Literally, nobody votes anymore.
Lord Vader, I think the good news is the child sport is wiped away. There's nobody to claim it.
When Jay goes, there's no votes anymore. I imagine that, like, he's like, actually, there's only one vote, and it's mine. So, like, Palpatine has this big, like, fucking board that just has a red button and a green button for when he wants to do something. And it's like he'll propose something and just hit the green button for yes. Should we take away child support? Yes.
I thought ahead of this, Lord Vader. I was way ahead of you on this one. You see, here's the thing. I killed his aunt and uncle. I liked the aunt and uncle. I know you did, but, like, listen. Sometimes I need to get ahead of your shitstorms, alright? I don't understand. Well, you see, why do you think that there was literally no one around in that Tusken camp, Lord Vader? You create shitstorms, Lord Vader. Why do you think Bail Organa is implicated on a wide scale? Why do you think I blew up Alderaan, Lord Vader? Because so that you weren't implicated in the murder of children, Lord Vader.
Pop quiz. Why did I have to blow up Alderaan?
It was also fun, but mostly he was starting to put too much together, Lord Vader.
He's in too deep.
Why do you think I replaced Clone Troopers with Stormtroopers? Because they never reported Bail Organa in the Jedi Temple. There's layers to this shit, Lord Vader. Chris looks done.
I'm recovering from hand solo.
There is no recovering from hands.
Way too high for that.
We're so sorry, podcast listeners. We are so sorry, podcast listeners, at the level at which we've really failed you, is what has happened here.
I haven't. Mission accomplished.
God,
We
I was
failed
about to make
you.
a really bad joke.
You all came to us looking to, watch Star Wars and just mess around and be funny, and then, we failed you.
Time.
Our brand failed you on a subconscious level. We would never want to, ruin your day or take away from your day, and really, we failed you and we need to do better. So I can assure you, if you stop listening to this episode right now and never tune in again, there will never be a bad pun like that again. Because I can't stop him. He's a creature of chaos.
We can't make any promises.
We can't make any promises. He's a creature of chaos and I cannot stop him. In that he's very predictable. Don't you fucking dab at that.
Jesus Christ.
Dab. Sick dab, bro.
Sick dab, bro. Sick dab.
I like that Luke Skywalker is in obvious shock from blood loss, and everybody's just kind of like, yeah, he's standing here with us now. And talking to himself. Like, don't worry, that's just the blood loss.
He's not even losing blood, though.
Isn't he?
Cauterized.
No, lightsabers cauterize the wounds.
Okay, I guess.
Cauterized.
It didn't happen with
Except for
Obi-Wan
that one
last
time.
episode.
No, but actually, there's a reason for that.
Don't you dare. I don't want to hear it.
Aqualish don't have blood vessels. They are just sacks of blood, apparently, according to the Star Wars universe. I'm not making this up.
But wouldn't it still be cauterized to the point where, the wound itself would be burned and closed off and cauterized?
I don't think...
That's how cauterization works. It's not just specifically cauterizing the blood vessels.
I can't describe to you how little of a shit I give. They could be the fucking...
everything. And
Aqualish could, you could take off the helmet of an Aqualish and they could be the fucking Kool-Aid Man and I wouldn't care.
I love the random technician who's just like standing there, and then Vader walks by. He's like, oh, shit. It's like someone's about to fucking die.
Well, no one dies. That's the point.
I
No
know.
one dies. He's too depressed to kill anybody. Which is good
I
news
hate-
for
I hate
Admiral
when-
Piet.
I hate when I'm in those moods.
You should not say that on any public, even as a joke.
Fucking Tatooine.
Tatooine.
Dumb motherfucker.
Listen, home planet of Todd. Another stormtrooper.
Todd
Tatooine.
Dewey.
Tatooine.
No.
Todd discovered the
Todd.
discovered the planet, so he just called it Tatooine.
Cause I'm just
You know, he's
thinking
a big
Todd,
fan of Halloween.
Now I'm just thinking of Todd Howard.
We've implicated Todd Howard too much on this podcast.
We have?
Todd Howard.
We have an
of Planet
episode
Tatooine.
called Todd Howard is George Lucas.
I love so much that you couldn't even end the movie without just like,
Explaining the hand.
here's a new hand and it looks exactly like a real hand.
Mm.
So nothing has changed.
It occurs to me that this isn't a hand, but I've given you a hand, so we need a new name for this hand. And so
Sounds like a handful.
Chris is gone.
Chris is out of here.
Chris covered his camera because he can't show
We
how
can't
bad
even
he's
see if the
laughing.
blazer's on the back of his chair.
You want to know what the worst part is? I didn't realize I was copying that until halfway through.
If I wasn't the one recording the call, I would have left the call.
I'm sorry. I'm just a little bit
I am
tipsy.
Inconsolable.
This episode needs to be called Han Solo.
Irvin Kershner, that's who did it. That's who tried to give Mark Hamill CTE.
Okay. Ben, how was your watch?
I love you guys.
I love you too, Ben, very much.
I love you too, you son of a bitch.
Chris,
You've
how was
turned
your
me
watch?
into Harrison Ford is what you've done tonight.
I've turned you to Harrison Ford.
You son of a bitch. I'm just over here like,
Get out of my Skype call.
get out of my fucking Skype call.
Chris, how's your watch?
My watch was fantastic, as all of them have been
Until the
throughout
very
this
end.
process.
Oh my god, this is up there with Revenge of the Sith for best
This is the
podcast
best.
watches I've ever had.
This, if we had the time available to do this every week, this is
Oh,
the
it'd be so
perfect
great.
form of this podcast.
Yeah.
This truly
mean,
is
it's
the purest
not.
form of this podcast.
For consuming the content, probably not, but for creating it.
For creating it, for sure. Oh my god, I had
Hey,
such a
how
good
was
time.
your watch?
Like I said, it's the best watch I've had ever, except maybe Revenge of the Sith. And maybe just Revenge of the Sith, because
love
when
how-
Ben said something stupid, I could pretend to threaten him.
I love how in the credits Ben Kenobi is Ben in parentheses Obi-Wan Kenobi, like Obi-Wan's just a nickname.
Well, I mean, at the time, like, he was better known as Ben Kenobi.
I guess.
Because that was pre-prequel.
Well, now that we're through with the talking about Han Solo and the credits and the past, thank you so much for watching, listening.
Thank you so much for this. If you watched along with us, we're sorry. But also
we are
you're
so
welcome.
sorry.
Stay tuned for next week where we
Nope.
probably
This has been Star
are
Wars
going to end
every
up doing
week forever.
live Ewok.
Nope.
conundrums.
We made a promise, and I'm going to do everything
There's
in my
no
power
way
to
it's
avoid.
not gonna
We made a
happen.
promise. This has been Star Wars
There's
every
no
week forever.
way.
This has been Star Wars every week forever. Good night.
Hello, all you beautiful people, and thank you very much for joining us on yet another week of Star Wars Every Week Forever. We upload every Wednesday around noon on various platforms, including YouTube, Spotify, TuneIn, and many others. If you have any friends, companions, people you would like to torture with our presence, feel free to send them our way. You know where to find us. If you would like to interact with the show and the various co-hosts, you can find us quite easily on Twitter at SWEWF. We check there very regularly, so it's easy to get a hold of us. And I hope all of you wonderful people have a glorious rest of your day. Until next we meet, may the Force be with you.